Hi students. So today we are going to discuss some assignment bits on gas transport, in that particularly oxygen transport. Now the first bit, in Bohr effect the curve shifts to right when. So we know the Bohr effect is related to increase in the carbon dioxide and H plus ion concentration, leading to decreased affinity of oxyhemoglobin. Now, when there is increase in the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, it leads to decreased oxygen content in the blood. So, in Bohr effect, the curve shifts to the right side. We know, so this curve will be, so here we will take partial pressure of oxygen and here percent saturation of hemoglobin. Saturation of hemoglobin we will take on y-axis. The curve is a sigmoid curve, it will be like this. When there is increase of partial pressure of carbon dioxide, then this curve, sigmoid curve, oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve, shifts towards the right side. So as a result, it leads to shifting of the curve to right side when there is increase in the partial pressure of carbon dioxide as well as increase in the H plus ion concentration. So hence for first question the answer is third one. Next. So how the transport of oxygen and CO2 by the blood happens? This is the second question. Options given here are with the help of RBC and WBC. Second one with the help of WBC and blood serum. Third one with the help of platelets and plasma. Fourth one with the help of RBC and blood plasma. In this, the fourth one is the correct option because RBC and blood plasma plays an important role in the transportation of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Here, if you take oxygen is transported about 97% by RBC and 3% in the form of dissolved state through plasma. Similarly, carbon dioxide is also transported by three ways. In dissolved state through plasma 7%, 20 to 25% is by the RBC in the form of carbamino compound and 70% is by bicarbonate ion. So thus, oxygen and carbon dioxide transportation occurs with the help of RBC and plasma. Hence the answer for the second one is fourth. So fourth one is the answer. Next. So the chemical formula of oxyhemoglobin. So we know oxyhemoglobin is formed when oxygen partial pressure is more. So in the presence of high oxygen partial pressure, hemoglobin readily combines with oxygen forming oxyhemoglobin. Now if you see hemoglobin Hb plus oxygen gives rise to HbO2. So when there is high oxygen partial pressure, then hemoglobin combines with oxygen forming oxyhemoglobin. So a hemoglobin, when it is 100% saturated, it can carry 4 molecules of oxygen at a time. That's why we have taken 4 and HbO2 taken 4 times is the formula of oxyhemoglobin. In this, the correct answer given are HbO2 taken 4 times. So that is the answer, fourth one. So fourth option is the correct one. Next. The fourth question, binding affinity of oxygen with hemoglobin decreases due to. The binding affinity of oxygen with hemoglobin decreases due to, the factors, certain factors are there. What are they? When there is high partial pressure of carbon dioxide and low partial pressure of oxygen, and when there is high temperature, and when there is an increase of acidic nature or acidity, and when there is an increase of 2,3-diphosphoglycerate. When all these conditions are there, the affinity of hemoglobin with oxygen is decreased. So here if you take so fourth option if you take, the fourth option will be having it will be having low pH. So first option is given as high pH. So second option is binding of CO with amino group of peptide HB. Next one, high PO2 and low pH. So low pH means increase of acidic nature. So that's why the answer for this question is the fourth one is 4. Next, fifth question. In the tissue, the factors favorable for the dissociation of oxygen from hemoglobin are. At the tissues, the factors favorable for the dissociation of oxygen from hemoglobin are, so the same which we had discussed earlier. At the tissue surface, there will be low oxygen partial pressure, high carbon dioxide partial pressure will be there, and the next temperature will be more, and 2,3-diphosphoglycerate will be more, and acidic nature will be more. So these are the factors so responsible for the dissociation of oxygen from oxyhemoglobin at the tissue level. So if you take this, so here so if you take low partial pressure of oxygen is the factor, and the next one high partial pressure of carbon dioxide, next one high temperature, and the next one is, so the next one is the low pH. So these are the factors responsible for dissociation of oxyhemoglobin at the tissue level. So answer for this is so third option. Next, so oxyhemoglobin, the next question, oxyhemoglobin is converted into hemoglobin and oxygen during the internal respiration because so oxyhemoglobin is unstable. So this is, so oxyhemoglobin is unstable in the presence of oxygen, high oxygen partial pressure, hemoglobin readily combines with oxygen with a loose bond formation forming oxyhemoglobin. When the partial pressure of oxygen decreases and partial pressure of carbon dioxide increases, this undergoes dissociation, releasing oxygen to the tissue cells which will be utilized for oxidation. So that's why answer for this is, so oxyhemoglobin is unstable. So sixth question, answer is fourth one. Next, seventh question, pick the correct statement. So pick the correct statement. Contraction of internal intercostal muscles lift up the ribs and sternum. Next, RBC transport oxygen only. Next, third option, thoracic cavity is anatomically an airtight chamber. Fourth one, a healthy man can inspire approximately 500 milliliters of air per minute is given. So the correct statement here, so the contraction of internal intercostal muscles lift up the rib and sternum. This is the wrong one. And ribs, next RBC is transport oxygen only is given. This is also wrong because RBC play an important role in both oxygen and carbon dioxide transport. And third one, thoracic cavity is anatomically an airtight chamber. So thoracic cavity is anatomically airtight chamber. This is the correct option. So answer for seventh question is third one. And the next one, eighth. Next, eighth question. About 97% of oxygen is transported by RBC. The remaining 3% is transported. The remaining 3% is transported in the form of dissolved state through plasma. So options given here are retained in the lungs. Second one, dissolved in plasma and transported. This is correct. Third one, attached to the cell membrane. Wrong. Fourth one, inside mitochondria. So for this, the correct answer is dissolved in plasma. So it will be dissolved in plasma and transported. That's why, so answer for the eighth question is 2. So we know oxygen is transported in 2 ways. One is through dissolved state, through plasma, and second one is in the form of, so through RBC. So through RBC, 97% of oxygen is transported and remaining 3% is through plasma in dissolved state. Next, ninth question. Decrease in pH causes oxygen dissociation curve of hemoglobin to shift to. So decrease in pH leads to shift of the curve towards the right side. Decrease in pH means, pH value decreasing means acidity is increasing. In the high acidic nature, the oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve moves towards the right side. So hence answer for this is the second one, right side. The curve moves towards the right side. So first option is given as the left side, second one as the right, and third one remains unchanged, fourth one oscillate erratically. So answer for this is second one. And 10th question, the most important physiological feature of hemoglobin is, it is red in color. First option, its ability to combine reversibly with oxygen. Third option, presence of basic protein globin and presence of iron. So if you see here, the most important physiological feature of hemoglobin is, it can combine with oxygen in a reversible manner. In a reversible manner, it will be combined. That means in the presence of high oxygen, it will combine with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin, and when the partial pressure of oxygen is decreasing, this oxyhemoglobin dissociates into oxygen and hemoglobin. So this is its important feature. So it is an important physiological feature of hemoglobin. So its ability to combine with oxygen in a reversible manner is its important physiological feature. So answer for the 10th question is 2. 11th question. So at a given oxygen concentration, the dissociation of oxyhemoglobin will increase if. So the question is, at a given oxygen concentration, dissociation of oxyhemoglobin will increase if the first option, pH of the blood raises, second one, pH of the blood falls, third one, CO2 concentration of the blood falls, and fourth one, free fatty acid concentration of the blood cells. Now if you take at a given oxygen concentration, the dissociation of oxyhemoglobin will increase if the pH of the blood falls. That means when the acidic nature increases, then the oxyhemoglobin will undergo dissociation. So thus the pH of the blood falls, so indicates its acidic nature is increasing. Under this situation, so the oxyhemoglobin undergoes dissociation. So answer for 11th question is 2. And the next one, amount of oxygen present in 1 gram of hemoglobin is. So amount of oxygen present in 1 gram of hemoglobin is 1.34 milliliters. So 1.34 milliliters of oxygen is present in 1 gram of hemoglobin. And if you take an average 15 milligrams of if you take 15 grams of hemoglobin is present in 100 milliliters of blood. That's why 100 milliliters of blood contains 20 milliliters of oxygen. So amount of oxygen present in 1 gram of hemoglobin is 1.34. Generally in a healthy individual, 15 grams of hemoglobin will be present in 100 milliliters of blood. So to know how much quantity of oxygen is present in 100 milliliters, then we have to multiply the 15 grams of hemoglobin into 1.34 milliliters of oxygen. Then you will get 20 milliliters of oxygen. So that's why amount of oxygen present in 1 gram of hemoglobin is 1.34 milliliters. So second one. Next, 13th one, a molecule of hemoglobin carries how many oxygen molecules? So we know hemoglobin is a conjugated protein having a globin surrounded by 4 heme molecules, and each of these heme molecule can combine with oxygen when it is 100% saturated. So when it is 100% saturated, a hemoglobin molecule can carry 4 molecules of oxygen at a time. When it is 75% saturated, 3 molecules of oxygen will be carried at a time. When it is 50% saturated, 2 molecules of oxygen will be carried at a time. So like this, so a molecule of hemoglobin can carry maximum of 4 molecules of oxygen at a time. So in this, the options are first one 1, second one 2, third one 3, fourth one 4. So answer for this is the fourth option. So that is about, so these 13 bits related to oxygen transport. Right. Thank you, children.